Rashad Smith tells us he recently stopped by Riverside Cemetery to pay respects to his grandmother. When he stopped by her gravesite, however, he was met with a mix of emotions, including shock. All of the decorations and mementos that have been placed there have been totally cleared away.
Initially, I didn't know what to think.
Rashad Smith says he figured his shock maybe came from another family member making way for the spring months. Then he noticed other neighboring plots also were without any sort of decorations. As he made his way to the office to figure out what happened, Smith tells us he ran into another person visiting the cemetery that day with the same concerns, saying she was visibly incredibly upset and crying.
The staff seemed a little bit confused on the policy, to be quite frank. Not necessarily knowing, they took out a piece of paper and referred to the policy. This is policy, but when I reviewed the paper, there was nothing in policy that said anything about the date in which I was there and what was not allowed.
According to the city of Rochester, families are provided this brochure when their loved one is interred, with the letter sent to families twice a year, laying out standard rules and regulations in the cemetery grounds with signage throughout the area as well. The city adds that families are now required to sign a document confirming they have received and understand these rules, noting the maintenance teams rely on these all being followed for their and visitors' safety. Unauthorized materials are stored at the cemetery for family members and friends to pick up.
In my case, I had a few spin wheels on my grandmother's gravesite, and that wasn't even listed on the policy. So when I reviewed the policy, it just wasn't clear.
Smith then sent a letter to the city's Department of Environmental Services, not only stating his feelings and experiences, but also offering ideas for solutions, including more effective communication.
It also recommended just being a little more compassionate and caring about families and what they place on plots to honor their loved ones. And really, for me, it was about, yeah, there's a policy and procedure, but who created it? And why isn't the voice of the community a part of that?
There is a sign at the entryway to Riverside Cemetery with a list of the rules and regulations. We will post the full policy as dictated by the city with this article over at rochesterfirst.com. For now, reporting in Rochester, Isabel Garcia, News 8.